I've lived a hard life. I've spent my whole life just jumping from family to family and wishing my mom would take care of me, but she is incapable. Abused by a lot of people. I started running the streets when I was about 14, 15, jumping from people's houses to houses, and then I ended up downtown and I never left. It was just, downtown was my home. It was my family.
I had a pretty rough childhood growing up. A lot of my mom's ex-boyfriends wanted to beat the crap out of us, and they proceeded to do that. I ended up moving out when I was 14, moved in with a friend. I started drinking, started doing drugs, and living real unhealthy.
We were always struggling financially, and eventually the financial struggle came to where we couldn't even afford rent. We got evicted, and I went with my sister, and my mom, my dad, and my little brother went with my cousin. And me and my sister don't get along when we live together, so she kicked me out like 3 different times. By like third time, I was like, you know what, forget it, I'll just stay out here.
Being homeless was kind of rough. There's a lot of drugs and alcohol on the streets. There's a lot of violence.
I was always scared that I was young and I was vulnerable, and carrying a knife wasn't going to be enough one day.
I can tell you that it was really, really cold, and it was scary. Like, you don't sleep. You just like rest your eyes. In other words, you don't sleep, because especially being a woman out here on your own, it's scary, like unsafe. So you learn to sleep with one eye open, or not sleep at all.
I spent a lot of my time being looked down on by yuppies, and spent a lot of my time getting yelled at by homeless people to go home. None of them really understood that home wasn't an option for me.
I'm pretty sure that a lot of people who passed me on the streets while I was homeless thought I was just a no-good thug.
When they would just look at you, ignore you, it's rude, and it would hurt. I'm like, geez, we're people too.
There has been times that I've spent in dirty clothes and not showered, and people just looked at me so wrong, and it felt so dirty. I knew that I belonged in society, but I felt like they'd rather have me dead, and it hurt. It hurt a lot.
You know, for us to be stereotyped that way isn't fair. You don't know if that person defended your country, or if that person built your house, made your car, you know. There's just a lot going on that's not right, and there's a lot more going on that is right, though.
When Dry sees kids, I feel that they see us as people and not little street hooligans.
I know that they saw a really good person, someone that had potential, and someone that could give back so much to the world.
I met Dry Bones probably in the year 2005, a good 6 months before I caught my first case, and got to know them pretty well in that time, and saw what they were doing for the homeless youth out here, and how they stared right past your outside appearance and right into the person you are, not who you're trying to be, or the tough facade or any of that. They saw you for who you are and wanted to help you get off the streets and find other choices, find other outlets for not being homeless and going out there and committing crimes and doing drugs and drinking, where they tried to help us get off the streets and quit all that, you know, because they believe that every person's valuable.
Every person in the Dry Bones family knows me for me. I hid myself from everybody, and they never blinked an eye at who I really was. They knew, and they didn't give up on me because they knew, and they helped me through this, and to this day they're still helping me, and it's pretty amazing.
Mark and Madison came up to me with an application for Purple Door Coffee, saying that we would like to see if we can hire you. So I filled out the application and got a call, and we started training to make coffee the next week, and working here at Purple Door Coffees has been a blast since then, making lattes and cortados and traditional macchiatos and espresso shots and steaming milk, and learning about the farms where the coffee beans actually come from, and working at the Purple Door Coffee has kind of awakened the dormant people person in me, where I was very gruff and aggressive with people right off the bat. Now I'm a lot nicer to people. I'm more genuine, more heartfelt, more warmth, and I like that person a lot more than the old asshole.
My life now, it's awesome. I mean, I have my first apartment, I have a job, I've got friends. I actually have friends who like me for me. That's very rare when that happens.
For the past 14 months, I have turned my life around completely. I have an 8-month-old kid. I've been sober for 14 months. I have my own apartment. I work at Purple Door Coffee. I've completed probation that I was non-compliant with for 2 years, spent a year in compliance. I've completed all of my government issues. I'm just happy now. I have a good life.